What up, what up, what up, world? You already know what time it is. Your boy, man, Mr. Host for the most. Never need to brag, no boast. All we ever did was give a toast to the real folks who done paved the way in the real way. Always played the play and parlay this good game that we got for y'all tonight. And I got my right hand with me, as usual. Boy, WI in the building. This way.
Yeah. What up? What up? What up?
Salute. Salute to the real ones that keep it real, so no one feel nothing. Know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What's happening, fam?
I can't complain. Just going through the motions, trying to stay floating.
Word. Did you see? Did you see that our dialogue interview with Lance on RivERA? I put on RivERA as RivERA. Let me change that up real quick.
Make it work. We'll make it work for sure. Nah, you know what? I didn't get to see it, so that's why I'm getting put on right now. Honest with you, I know it was a serious situation, so I'm here. I'm here for it. I'm here for it all.
Well, it's like, it was Biggie's homeboy.
Righteous.
I get it. I can't even edit the live. Ain't that a bitch? Anyway, I'll do that after. But yeah, we talk about Lance on RivERA right now.
Right.
And he was Biggie's business partner, so to speak, back then, Right hand man,
Yeah.
them on different aspects of the game. That's why when he went with Puffy, his business was on point a bit, because he had a Lance there to guide him through different business ventures that he had with Puffy,
Right.
So you chop it up with him about it and shit like that. So as I hear him talk on this interview, I was like, yo, this shit was needed still because the general public doesn't really know,
Exactly.
what was going on back then and how it really went down. But a lot of it to me is like he's telling his story and here's his perspective. And it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, he took a little bit of jobs here and there at certain rappers and everything. But through it all, I can't say he's totally bullshitting because he was there,
Right.
And not only that, he was a smart businessman too,
Yeah.
There's certain things that he talks about that I would like to break down, First, we're going to start with Exhibit A. The R. Kelly and Aaliyah situation.
Oh, shoot.
Mind you, he said,
Kill.
Yeah.
Back in real time, was it known that he was messing around while she was underage?
Um, I'm gonna keep it all the way honest. I'm gonna keep it all the way honest. Back then, when I met Aaliyah, I right, I never met her, right? Um, but back then there was really no noise about R. Kelly and Aaliyah underage, and um, you know, he's older than her, and there might have been industry um chatter, you know what I'm saying, but it was nothing that registered to me back then, you know what I'm saying. Like when I was around her, R. Kelly wasn't nowhere around, you know what I'm saying. It was her mom's, and it was Barry Hankerson and them and her family, you know what I'm saying. So that wasn't the energy, you know what I mean. So I can't say how I felt about them, and about Jay doing a record with album with R. Kelly. R. Kelly was he was huge. He was big. He did records with Kim. He did records with Biggie. Like it wasn't, he wasn't. I think that all came when they started trying to tear him down. You know what I'm saying? Like from what I understand is that it's like with all of these weirdos. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all motherfuckers know these motherfuckers is weirdos, and y'all keep them in a closet and keep it all hid until it benefits you, or they don't do what y'all want to do. Now y'all want to expose all they bullshit, right? Puff
Right.
been doing this shit that he been doing, right? So now all of a sudden it's a problem. You know what I mean? So it's all of you complying with this weirdo shit. And then now all of a sudden when niggas don't want to be loyal no more, y'all want to assassinate niggas, you know what I'm saying? So that's really what happened, you know what I mean? Like you didn't start hearing about this shit with R. Kelly, or really hearing about R. Kelly or Leah until they put out the peeing video. You know what I'm saying? Like, look how much he's accomplished since before the peeing video. You know what I mean? So yeah, they let it rock, you know what I mean? But it went unnoticed. Because it could have been news from the first time they came in. Why wasn't it front page news? Like, hey, there's an age difference and marriage certificate and all of this come out then. That shit didn't come out. It didn't even come out. You know, now it seems kind of, now that we're talking about it, it didn't really start coming out till he had a problem with Jay-Z.
Now, he's saying it didn't come out until you had a problem with Jay-Z. I get it, but all them niggas is guilty. Because all them niggas is the same age, bro. Think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Is that not what he's saying? What is he saying? That's what he said, no? He said they all knew what was going on. Nobody said nothing until it was beneficial. So
Exactly.
makes sense. Everybody, they're all in it.
Exactly. My point exactly. So for Dane to come years later and say, "Oh, he was in love with Aaliyah," nigga, he was the same age as Jay. Talk about Jay was hollering at Aaliyah when she was underage. You was right there with Jay. Wasn't he right there with Jay?
Very true.
The whole time.
Very true.
Well, he waited 2 years later.
So he was in love with a minor too.
Bro, think about it. They're all the same age. It don't make no sense.
Right.
Or one knew and the other didn't know.
But he pointed the crooked finger. Don't make no sense for real.
So I'm like, okay. R. Kelly's guilty, but y'all niggas ain't guilty, man.
Exactly.
So it looks weird to me.
Nah, it's going home too. Like he said, oh, all these motherfuckers knew what Puffy was doing. Nobody said none. But now all of a sudden, it's an issue.
Yeah, he said his whole aura was like that. I'm not surprised that he's going through what he's going through, what he went through, but to say these girls ain't involved in it, they're just victims. It's a stretch, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of a stretch.
Nah, that's a fact though. Unless you could honestly say that you spoke out against whatever it was. You're kind of basically you're saying it's okay.
For real though.
So
let me put up I'm gonna put up the StreamYard if anybody wants to come up and chop it up about this interview, because I know it's a dope interview. And we got some other stuff to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to interact with my subscribers and my fans and all that. The viewers out there, you know, we like to build and add to the conversation. You know,
yeah.
But yeah, man, R. Kelly is one
out there. Big up to them.
Is a scapegoat in that situation. But I ain't gonna, you know, hold it to the Biggie, so to speak.
Right.
We never heard Biggie around there, but if she was down with the Junior Mafia, she down with the Junior Mafia. I mean, shit. You know? But she was young though. You know? Nobody wants to be the one that be like, yeah, I was caught up with the young thing. But everybody likes that forbidden fruit, so to speak. That's what they call it, right?
That's real.
Mm-hmm. But let's go to the next interview, because he be saying wild shit, but you be making sense though.
speaking of Dame, how you feel about the financial situation he in right now?
He bring your name up, but I think it's some sucker shit. I think it was some sucker shit when they excluded him from the history of who he is and Rockefeller and that Brooklyn Museum. I think it's unjust. You know what I'm saying? I think that some things that he did with his money that was, you know what I'm saying? But nah, he not supposed to be in the situation that he's in. You know what I mean? And I'm not telling you, I don't know what happened. I do know that there's other people in your life you might want to hold behaving responsible. I don't think that that's the case with him and Dame. I don't think he slept with his wife. I don't think he disrespected his mama, his kids. So I think that somebody manipulated him into the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I think it's some sucker shit, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's not you can't be the godfather of my kids. I can't have helped you because he has to know that Dame is helped him. You know what I mean? I don't give Dame the credit and all of the credit. I say I did a job, Big did a job, right? And I equate them to me and Big. And I know that Big would have never, I don't care what, he would have never left me in a position that Jay has left Dame in. You know what I'm saying? He would have never done it. And that's why I said, niggas ain't honorable. Niggas talk that honorable shit. Niggas talk that shit. You know what I mean? Like, nah, B. Like, and if everybody who wants to come out and speak on his behalf, don't do it because he's not going to take care of you. They're not going to help you in any kind of way defending them anymore. They've done it. They've shown who they are. We in it for ourselves, just like the guy coming for the estate. Like, will you want more? How do you want more? How do you want more? How do you want to suppress the kids more? How do you want to suppress faith more? How do you want to suppress the mafia more? Y'all keep it moving, B. Keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? The hood suffered behind y'all. The hood's supposed to be way up, especially Big's hood. They supposed to be way up. Marcy, you supposed to be way up. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they homeboys might be giving back. Certain few niggas got jobs and shit here. It's hell no.
And if I'm not mistaken, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you actually admitted that you played a part in Dame downfall, right?
Well, what I did was, you know, and I do what they do. You know what I'm saying? It was brought to my attention that, you know, Stout was publicly talking smack about me publicly, about the past, and you know, so I said, okay, you know, so I purposely sick Dame on him through the Vlad interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, you know, now deal with Dame's bark. You're welcome, Stout. But don't play with me because I'm gonna play back. All you niggas, y'all play with me, I'm gonna play back. And y'all don't want to be the playback. Y'all been name dropping me forever in records. Nas, that's my guy. You know what I mean? But Nas, tell people where Ether came from. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
You played a part in that?
I'm just gonna leave it at that. Watch this series, Full Street. You'll see.
You and Steve Stout cool now, right?
We've always been competitive. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, these dudes have we broke bread, we got money together. You know what I'm saying? Like they feel like they crushed my career and they did it on purpose and they buried me. And I say that I helped y'all get to where y'all at. you know, everybody has their version of the story, but I'm gonna tell the story. Like there's this thing about bootlegging, and I'm gonna show you where it started. We're gonna start at the trackmaster's office, and then we're gonna follow the whole storyline. And we know who the trackmasters was: Ski Stout, Poke and Tone. So that's, you know, we're gonna y'all want to play dirty, we gonna play dirty.
And speaking of that, right? People name dropping you and Jay. It's been said that Jay, he stabbed you, and he even got arrested over that incident, right?
I mean, I said it one time, you know, that I didn't get stabbed by Jay. Right. So we're gonna start there. And like I said, if you weren't in the room, you see what I'm saying? Because I could say that me and Jay got into it over Cam. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I'll just give you one scenario. One day, I think Dame might have touched on it. One day, Dame comes to the studio, the Hit Factory, and Cam and them, Mace and all of them are in the studio, and they play the interlude record called F You. And they like, it's called F You, and they doing it to Dame, right? So Dame leaves out and he comes back and he has Jay-Z, Big, and Tata. And, you know, whatever escalated from there, I can say, well, that was Cam. Why y'all came to see me? Because Cam is in here playing F You to Dame, right? So there's a bunch of things and finger pointing that I could say on how I thought, you know, where the beef started. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been over a bunch of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I said, I paid Jay-Z to rap on a record and diss me on a record. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
So what was it over? The confrontation y'all had? Because he didn't stab you, but you know, like you said, y'all did have a little confrontation or whatever.
It was a bunch of it was a bunch of things that escalated. You know what I'm saying? It was a bunch of things that escalated. One being bootlegging. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the things being bootlegging, one of the things being women, one of the things being money, one of the things being who's and one of the things being I need this because I'm trying to sell records. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all of the above. You know what I mean? And but like I said, I'm just gonna put it in context. You know what I mean? Like there's a story, but you're just gonna have to fucking pay attention to the story. You're gonna have to tune in. And like I said, I had made a quote. I posted something on Instagram, and it said, I quoted him by saying, I'm not trying to make you the butt of my joke. I'm just trying to increase my quote. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by all of the stuff that I'm saying. Like the same way you meant it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll flip it on you. Sorry, Lance, not trying to make you the butt of my joke. I'm just trying to increase my quote. Dear Summer is the record, right? That's all I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like this is not personal. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing. This is just me trying to increase my quote. That's it.
Let me ask you this: would this woman happen to be Charlie Baltimore?
You can add her to the list. Absolutely. Remember, she was going to be in a commission.
Yeah,
Now,
man.
you see how he's talking about that?
Yeah.
Because you got a gripe with Jay-Z, you know?
Yeah, I was just about
So
to say it sounds like got a bone to pick with a few
he's
people.
automatically biased. Pardon me?
It sounds like he got a bone to pick with a few people.
He's bitter, you know? But it's his point of view, you know? It's his point of view. And he has a right because he was there. But to say that Jay did Dame wrong or Dame did Jay wrong, can't really say that. Because Biggie was your man, and Biggie was Jay-Z's homeboy. So if you had beef with Jay-Z, automatically you would side with Dame in this situation, you know. Know what I mean? Because when you got stabbed, it was over some bullshit. But just to see, like, where he's taking it, he likes to take the side of people he likes, you know. You can see it already.
Yeah.
So when he said Jay-Z is foul, we're not helping Dame. How was he supposed to help Dame? And Dame was kicking his back and we're raping a 13-year-old. When that shit came out, he was he was going on. He was going online talking about. I hate to be Jay-Z right now. How does that work? How,
it doesn't make it any better that Dame is talking about him and Aaliyah being in a situation. So like at the end of the day, you're not any better than anybody. You're just as foul as the next man, if that's the case. If you're gonna sit and call the man foul, then you gotta make sure that you're not foul. You know, but at the end of the day, if you're running this or you want to run the same play, maybe it's different in whatever way, but it's pretty much the same play. It's like, look who's calling the kettle black. it's one of those situations. So I think everybody's on some shit, and nobody could really point the finger because nobody's perfect, man. Everybody's on some shit in this whole situation, but
that's some bullshit, huh?
yeah, you know.
Well, I'm just trying to capitalize on the moment. You could tell.
Exactly.
Well, that was some bullshit. I mean, Jay-Z has all the money in the world, and
He's trying to weasel his way into the mix now. Well, ultimately, if he was really feeling a way about it, he should have came out a while ago.
yeah. Well, let's continue as it goes along.
We ask ourselves is why now?
Let's hear Lance RivERA. Now he has a couple of interviews. He did live TV like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did another interview a couple of years ago. So I guess he's been talking his shit,
Okay.
But check this one out. This is about the Biggie murder now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm puffing all that. Let's see what he says about this.
LA, I want to talk to you about that. Is there any truth that Big he didn't want to go to LA?
I mean, I wish people would stop misconstruing what was going on at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, Big was loyal to Puff to a fault. You know what I'm saying? He understood what he was up against at the time because he's from New York. He's from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? His man got killed for a drug deal going bad. His niggas around him getting robbed. He done got stuck up before. So he understands but I don't make him safe, right? Because at this time, there's money, there's security, there should be. He feels like he's gonna be protected like unprotected me in LA, right? So he took me out of it. I was going to go. I was going to pack everybody up. But he was like, we in the middle of promoting Kim's album. You need to be here. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So he's like, yo, I'm just going out here to do this work. I'm going to stay inside. I'm going to keep a low profile. D-Rock was like, I'm home now. I got him. He just came home from jail. I'm saying, all right. So he got D-Rock. D-Rock's going to make sure he come home, right? He's street. He's, whatever. And now all of a sudden, he don't come home. You know what I'm saying? But people want you to believe that, oh man, we was out there partying and oh man, we was out. No, y'all was young and y'all was high every day, and all y'all used to do is roll blunts and go get bitches and drink and start all over the next day. You didn't know what he did for business. You didn't know what he did when he called home and what his concerns were. And mine was always safety. Mine was always, he promised me he was not going out to that party. He was going to get on a plane to go to London. 3 hours later, I get a call that he's dead. So I'm like, can't nobody tell me what his state of mind was, because I'm his partner, right? We're setting up, he wants to throw a huge party for Little Kim and the Mafia, you know what I'm saying, for selling records. He wants it to be nice. And I'm saying, y'all don't understand what was going on back then. Because like I said, it was a lot of trauma after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, it was nah, you can't, he was not in a comfortable space. He was, I'm not out in the streets. You see what I'm saying? I guarantee you, if you ask anybody about that trip, you say, well, how many parties did he go out to when he was there? And they'll probably say, just that one. Whatever time he was out there. You know what I'm saying? So if you're telling me that was his mindset, why only one party in LA? Nah, he was moving around from hotel to hotel, bringing, importing people. Charlie Baltimore and those people. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. Like I said, people were young, people were confused.
Yeah, a lot of people don't get why he would go to LA so soon after Tupac murder.
I mean, we all felt that way. You ask Puff Daddy.
You personally, who do you put the blame on when it comes to Big murder?
Well, I would have to 100% put all of the, and I'm not gonna say that his death, I'm gonna put all of his safety concerns on Damien, D-Rock, and Puff Daddy. You know what I'm saying? Because Damien had the ability to tell him, no, we not moving like that. No, we not doing it like that because I don't feel safe. Now, if you telling me Damien says in an interview that, oh man, I felt safe and I felt, you know what I mean? Like, then okay, that's another story. But nah, Puff, there's no way that all of the gunmen security should be surrounding you. There's no way for you to justify that unless you understand that they want to kill you, right? Then it's justifiable. And you're like, okay, I don't think that they would do this to this guy, but you know, we can't get you, we get your man. That happens every day in real life.
Unfortunate, man. Sad situation, man. I want to talk to you about the Horse and Carriage remix. How did that come about? You had a lot of rappers on there, like Big Pun, Silk the Shocker. A lot of people was on that, man.
The only story behind that is that at the time, Master P was on fucking fire. You know what I'm saying? Like he was on fire. And then Silk the Shocker was on fire. And what the only story that I could remember is that people were like, how did you get him? You know what I'm saying? How did you get Master P to let go his prodigal son? Like, and I said, I've had that conversation from L.A. Reid when he said, how do I let you get away with using my artist from TLC who's at 10 million albums twice and put her on a brand new artist's album, then come right back and get Usher on a brand new artist's album? You know what I'm saying? And Leo said, how the hell do you keep getting away with this? Clive Davis said, how the hell is Biggie selling all these records for Atlantic and we're not benefiting from it? Who's doing this? And it's little old me. You know what I'm saying? It's me. I'm getting away with it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was one of my great, and still is one of my greatest assets. You know what I'm saying? Is that I am talent friendly. You see what I'm saying? And that's what these people don't have. They're not friendly. They're abusers of talent. You know what I'm saying? And then they come in and they say, Un's the bad guy. Don't trust Un. Un's stealing. Un's doing all this. Nah, when you see the whole entire story, you'll see Un only got one check here and Un only got one check there ever in the whole entire music business. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you tell me how the fuck is Un doing all of these up things against you? And I'm saying, don't do it. Don't go over there. Cam, you know, I want to be honest. Okay, you're out of the entertainment deal, right? So now, guess what? You're now right? So now your partner's with a machine, which is Epic, right? So now you could get 50%, Epic could get 50%. Nah, but Dame convinces you that the best deal is to come to Def Jam, and Def Jam gives a percentage to their distributor. Rockefeller gives a percentage to Def Jam, and then now you're getting half of 25%. You have 50% of 12.5%. How is that a great deal in business and you learn so much business? It's a bad fucking deal. When you had a machine and, oh, they fucking my stuff. Why didn't you just go up to Epic and do what everybody else did? Sell records. Just use them to take all your marketing, just fund my shit and stay out of my business. You had the ability to do that, but you decided to give away Dipset, Old Boy, and all of that for 50% of 12.5%. It's not a good deal. It wasn't a good deal. And stop saying Un gave you a bad deal. When you became Un, you were bigger than Dame. You had a better deal than Jay. You had a better deal than all of them when you replaced me at Epic. But the thing is, you say what you want. I still own 50% of Confessions of Fire and SDE. Those are my masters. I'll just that's the work that I did. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm coming back for all of the shit that I put in work for.
Okay, I get it now. So he just answered my question.
We get it, why?
Because he wants, he said he's coming back for all the work for it.
Say that again?
He's coming back for all the shit he worked for.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
So basically, he's on a mission to get what he feels he worked for. I'm not in the position to say what he worked for, what he didn't work for. Don't get me twisted, right? If you put yourself, if you are in a position to help these artists and you feel like you deserve, or you know what I mean, you're the reason why certain artists got to a certain place, and you feel like you deserve your just due, who am I to tell you no? But fact of the matter is, he said he's coming back for what he worked for. So now I understand why he's putting all these, connecting all these dots and speaking on certain situations. He's trying to gather enough momentum to where he has enough bread so he can claim certain things. And if he has to go to court to claim certain things and fight for certain things, he's going to have the bread to do it. So this is what he's doing right now. He's on a to go gather up his bread and go get, because look, everybody's on fire right now. All these, Cam is on fire, you know what I'm saying? Dame is on a mission. Jay been up there. Like all these artists are in a certain position. So him being who he is, he's coming for what he claims is his work. So I get it now. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it.
No. That's what's up, bro. Power to him. Do you think that's in that whole Tupac situation that Puffy knew that somebody was trying to come kill Big, or somebody was trying to kill him?
You see the way he was talking
And if
is
you
like
trying to do something, then you cover your artist too, you know?
yeah.
That's the question.
No, but I feel like he has a good point when he said Puffy and D-Rock as his, his right hand man, his muscle, should have had more of a say in what happened that for them to take that trip. Should have said more. Not to say he had more of a say. He should have said more. And I feel like Puffy definitely knew that probably wasn't the best move, considering the climate of that whole time period. So yeah, Puffy definitely knew. He knew what was going on. He knew that there was some kind of conflict and friction that was gonna go down. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. I feel like they knew there was, you know what I mean, shady business going on. So I mean, the reasoning behind it all, that's to be determined there. But they ain't dumb. They definitely knew there was something going down, or at least the possibility of it. They knew. They ain't dumb.
They knew.
My understanding and recollection, it was from the first time we heard "Hit 'Em Up." You know what I'm saying? Like it was no rumblings. There was no conversation. There was, Tupac was, they was after the sin even on our mind really, because we in New York, we were safe. This is our home, right? So there was no feeling, we had other feelings to be guarded against. Our own East Coast, we was guarding against that feeling, right? But nah, it was, from what I remember, it was the record that what I'm saying, like, this is what really, I'm saying. And I'm talking about even to the point, this is what Big's competitiveness, right? Even though, Who Shot Us, people, I'm glad people are really clarifying that record about it being about Pac, which it wasn't, right? But for clarity purposes, the records that he did come in his own, because I am a real MC, I live and breathe this, you know what I'm saying? Like he did, if Faith have she probably have two Pacs, you know what I'm saying, twins, you know what I'm saying? Leave your body twisted round and round, upside down. Like, yeah, those are for sure, because I needed to hold this, because I can come at you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's what they do. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's rap is rap. You know what I mean? And Big was competitive like that, bro.
So when y'all had that run in with Pac and Suge at the Soul Train Awards, what happened?
We went out there with the understanding that that could happen, right? Not knowing what was on Puff in her mind, but was on my mind that that encounter can happen, right? And so our schedule moved us around in a way where under any circumstances that encounter happened, here's the counter measure to that. So when we land in LA, we meet Puff and them at the hotel at the airport, and they say, okay, we're taking Big, and you go wherever you going with everybody else. And I said, no, Big's coming with me. Let me know what time he has to be there, and we'll have him there. So, but our plan is that directly after the show, we're gonna get in our limos and head straight to the airport and catch a flight, because we were scheduled to do Greensboro for a show. So, you know, as the performance ends, you know, I'm sitting in the audience at this time. But we're surrounded by a bunch of death row niggas, Bloods and shit, you know what I mean? Like, you can tell we're surrounded. So, all right, we're gonna get out of this month as soon as Big come off the stage. So by the time we get off the stage and we go backstage, where the limos and all of the cars are pulling up, they got the whole outside of the back surrounded with Bloods, none but Bloods everywhere, right? So all of a sudden you see Suge and them pull in, Tupac in the Hummer. And, you know, from there, the story is the same. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else's story is sort of the same. You know what I'm saying? The only thing is that I did is I stood in front of Big, you know what I mean? Like, and was shocked at Suge, like, because it was really my first encounter of him. And, you know, I witnessed him, you know, tell him off because, yo, he got a strap. And I was kind of like blown away, like, damn, you know, how we living, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to send us to jail in LA? Like, that's how we live it. So, you know, after, you know, that happened, we got in the cars and we sort of went about our way, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I don't know how many months in between that and them having to go back to LA. I know we came back to New York and we got a lot of shit done, you know what I'm saying? Because Big was starting to work on his new album. But I don't know the time period between that time and the death. But other than that, it was, you know, we like I said, I'm still upset and a little shocked because of what we were going through back then, you know, for them to not even care about, you know, especially coming from me about, yo, what do you think, you know, happened? Or what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And nobody's ever said anything, which is kind of like driving me to be able to tell my own version of the story.
What was Pac's reaction?
I mean, he was just being Pac, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was being the animated version, because I never personally met him. I was going to meet him the night of the studio incident. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard about him a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I was finally going to meet him. But he was just as animated, you know what I mean, from what you've seen in the past, you know what I'm saying? Spitting at the cameras and him, you know, just energetic and, you know, sort of, you know, this untamable energy. You know what I'm saying? The dude stepped out of the window of the Hummer. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how he didn't open the door. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have visions of him where he's hanging out the window at paparazzi, he came out of the window with that same energy. You know what I'm saying? And him and C's was going back and forth. And this is kind of how I knew Pac didn't really, because on site and I'm about that life is you come and let's start the melee. Right? Here goes some punches thrown like it's on. You know, they sitting here clowning each other, him and C's. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, this is not real. You know what I mean? Like the energy, hit Pac's energy, because he could have went at C's. You know what I'm saying? He could have, if it was some physical shit, you know what I mean? You wouldn't have been worried about me standing in front of Big. You wouldn't have been worried about the nigga standing. You would have came with that energy, like, let's do it, let's get busy. And it wasn't that. It wasn't that. Like I said, Suge and them was bullies, bro. They was man. No, they was not. I'm telling you, it for him to have died. You know what I'm saying? For him to have died is weird to me, bro. That's why I said it wasn't there. It had to be more to the story than, you know what I mean? Because I've never, even in me doing my research into the story and what I'm doing, them dudes never was, they wasn't hunters. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't, I know what a hunter is. You know what I'm saying? Like for you to tell me that you hunted this dude and you plotted and you schemed and you finished your mission. Nah, that was more than what you guys was giving off. You guys didn't have that in y'all. From what what I found out, you know what I mean? Like now there's people around y'all that had the ability and thought like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but nah, them Suge and Pac and all them dudes wasn't that, bro.
They say Puffy ran when he seen Pocket Suge.
I mean, Puff always had nervous energy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what people expect from Puff. Like this, why are people shocked that he's going through what he's going through and the life that he led? You know what I'm saying? Like his whole character, his whole aura was that. You know what I mean? Like so. Like I said, man, my beef with Puff is that nah, you ain't do nobody, you ain't do the people that helped you benefit, right? You ain't do right by them. You know what I'm saying? All of the people that went back to the Lord went back suffering. They were never, none of them died in peace. Andre, Hev, the people at the college, you know what I'm saying? They all died suffering and miserable pain. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you ain't, no, hell no. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like I said, I'm not bitter about none of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just bitter about, you know, that you fooled people for so long. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I would have been having this conversation, but Miss Wallace prevented me from having it. You know what I mean? So now the handcuffs is off. You know what I'm saying? I don't respect y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't respect y'all. I don't respect what you do. I don't respect how you got to where you at. I don't respect it. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't help nobody. You helped yourself. You know what I'm saying? You bled and you manipulated, and then on top of it, you motherfuckers made people believe that other people were the bad guys. And it's not the case. Because, like I said, there is no way. And if you could take the rest that you could the mafia, there's no way the motherfucker shouldn't be 100 million up. C's included. Like you, man, f that. Nah, I ain't sitting back no more. I ain't chilling no more. You use them. You use them when Biggie died. You needed them to go on the bad. He couldn't have did a bad boy tour without Kim and C's while the world was in mourning. He couldn't have went out there and said, yo, I miss my man Big, and not have C's and Kim right there to remind them that Big and is still in the building. You know what I'm saying? You use them up and then spit them out. No longer, no, and then you have the ability. You can still. The reason why Big right now would be using them. He'd be saying, "Here go $500,000 for you. Here go $1 million for you. Here go this for you. We gonna keep getting this money together." You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, they want to steal the money, and then they want to be like, "All right, don't answer their phone call. No, I'm not here. No, I'm not here." You know what I'm saying? Like, how dare you?
Yeah, that's some real talk, man. Do you remember Big reaction when Pac got killed?
I mean, it was like he said, unbelievable. You know, he said it out of his own mouth. You know what I'm saying? He was like, again, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he gonna get through that. You know what I'm saying? But he was distraught by it because, like I said, you can't have a relationship with a person and then they die and they died and y'all relationship wasn't fixed based on a lie. You know what I'm saying? Based on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can imagine what he was going through. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know, that's why I take the credit. I came up with the hook, "You're nobody till somebody kills you." I heard it in my sleep and I told it to him. You know what I'm saying? And I said it to him. I didn't in a song structure or nothing. I just heard the words. And that's what but it was, I thought about Pac when I heard it, you know what I'm saying? And that's what the song he made in reference to Tupac that people don't know. You know what I'm saying? You're nobody till somebody kills you. You know what I'm saying? And that's really how he felt. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, so now all of a sudden, you guys, it's like Nip. You know what I'm saying? It's like now all of a sudden, you know, Pop Smoke, now all of a sudden you get to, oh man, this kid was dope. You know, and I'm guilty of it as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm guilty of it.
No, wait. Flag on play. No. I mean, if we looking at that, I mean, Me Against the World did go platinum when he was in prison. All Eyes on Me was like at 6 times platinum when he was actually still alive. So
yeah, but I'm not talking about whether people knew him or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the compassion that you have for him now. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about not the brilliance of the artist. I'm talking about now all of a sudden before, when he was alive, he was this, oh, he's this, he's that. You see what I'm saying? He's this menace to society. You see what I'm saying? So now when a person dies, now it's all of a sudden he's a poet. He's, you know, like how you said, flag on the play, and it's just a misinterpretation of what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? Now, it's never been about, like I tell people, somebody said it about me, like, what are you talking about? Jay-Z sold 5 million albums by the time what was it? His next album came out, and I'm saying, nah, I'm not telling you that he didn't sell a lot of records, but you know, and I know, and anybody who knows about the music business knows that there's more in it to just selling records, right? You could sell 10 million records and then come back and do pumps in the bump. You know what I'm saying? Like you could, you know what I mean? Like you could really not do anything on your sophomore album. You see what I'm saying? Like, or what you're projected to probably do. You know what I mean? So there's no guarantees unless you got, oh, he just died. So now all of a sudden, yeah, you're going to sell a lot of records. You know what I'm saying? But what if you didn't die? You didn't have any marketing behind it. You see what I'm saying? And that's the thing that I'm talking about. It's like, yo, unfortunately, that these kids get found out that they're talented. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that they'll never get found out about, but you say, oh, they really dope. And like I said, I'm guilty of it too. Nip, Mac Miller, you know, it's a lot of people. I'm like, oh, these dudes was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, you know what I mean? You don't find out until after they gone. You know what I'm saying? That's why Big say you're nobody till somebody kills you.
Well, then that's it's kind of messed up stuff. He said he heard that shit in his sleep and he gave that to Big to sing a track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ain't that messed up?
Did he say he gave it to Big for a track, or did he say he just told Big that, and Big put it on the track?
I think a little bit of both, you know. But it just makes you think, like, yeah. He said that after Tupac died. See that, and then Biggie died after. So. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn. How you gonna do that? Like, yeah. I just got it in my dream. You know, somebody kills you. Bam. We say, yo, we put this down. And it really did sound like he was talking about Pop. You nobody, you're somebody. You. Pop is like, I don't want to. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
It was a good interview. I just feel like he just went a little bit overboard. certain aspects, but it's his perspective, you know.
Right.
I think he's really trying to get money for Biggie's estate, I guess.
Right.
From Puff. Who knows? Even sounds like he wants to go after Jay-Z. I don't even know why.
Right.
But in other news, yeah, Young Dolph's killer. Well, he was accused of setting up the murder plot to kill Young Dolph, but he got acquitted, you know.
Right.
Which I said was going to happen because the shooter probably was running his mouth, trying to get himself off, you know, for a lesser time. So now he got off when they say it's like a bigger plot, you know, has to do with, you know, the city of Memphis.
Right. Now we gotta get some information on this one, because at the end of the day, if he is in the middle of that whole situation,
Yeah, I'm gonna break something down real quick.
some kind of accountability has to be taken, you know.
Hold on.
What kind of legs did the court have to stand on by allowing this to be acquitted? You know what I'm saying? What was the determining factor to make the court say, hey, you know what, not guilty? Because
Produce the fall guy.
and he wasn't the actual trigger man, right?
Well, this is what him talking about. Very Like, don't hate.
Jury of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder for the killing of young Dolph. Today, he joins us to do his first interview after the case. Hernandez, welcome to Vlad TV.
Appreciate you for having me.
Well, me and you have actually been talking for a while.
Correct.
And we were supposed to do this interview a while.
Yeah.
Here we are today. So I want to start on the ground. You got into a lot of trouble over the course of your life.
Yeah.
So over 26 years, you were in and out of jail for various crimes like aggravated assault, drug possession, and so forth.
Yes.
Why are you getting in trouble so much?
Well, I'm sure you know I grew up in an environment called Orange Mound. To say it in a nice way. So, you know, growing up, that was all around me. It was all I seen.
What was the longest bid that you did?
5.
For what?
Gun possession and drugs.
Okay. So leading up to the incident, you and Big Joke had a relationship.
Yes. He was an associate of mine. Yes, sir.
You were how old when you met him?
Met Joke when I was around between 22, 25 years of age.
Okay. You guys used to gamble together.
Yeah, that's how we met, gambling.
Okay. And you guys are like almost cousins?
Yeah. His mom married someone years ago. Was in a relationship with someone years ago that I'm very close to. And I'll just say that. And so, you know, we used to, you know, that's how we became close associates back in the day, got comfortable with each other gambling and things like that.
Okay. And Big Jook is the brother of Yo Gotti.
Yes, sir.
Now, what's your relationship with Yo Gotti?
I don't have a relationship with him. I never met him, never did any business with him whatsoever. That's why it was strange to me, all the comments and hoorah on social media accusing me of doing things that was absolutely not true, because I never had any dealings with Yo Gotti whatsoever, period.
Now, what about young Dolph?
Yeah, I know Dolph. I knew Dolph personally. Yes, sir. We did business years ago before he actually blew up. He was rapping at the time, but he hadn't blown up yet. You know, just being in the streets, selling petty marijuana back and forth. So yeah, I knew Dolph personally. He was a good dude.
Okay. And you also had a relationship with Daddy O, who's the owner of Paper Out Records.
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
What's that relationship about?
Just the same. I met Daddy O from I got a brother named Ziploc from South Memphis. And we used to just sell petty marijuana years ago, in and out of hotel rooms when we were younger, just doing our thing, just trying to hustle.
Now, you and Dolph, did you ever have a falling out, or did you have a good relationship overall?
Never had a falling out with Dolph. You know, we did a couple transactions years and years ago. We never had a reason to fall out. I'm not a rapper, you know. Dolph was just this one. He had 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and at the beginning of his music career. And so, you know, anytime we met up and did business, it was all good. Never had an issue.
Well, at one point, young Dolph and Yo Gotti started getting into it. Do you know the reason why the friction actually started? Because you hear like 20 different stories.
Well, from what I understand, I know Gotti tried to sign him years ago, and you know, for whatever reason,
pull up on the screen, man.
Dolph decided not to. I think Dolph was close friends with Gucci Mane at the time. Gucci and Gotti relationship kind of deteriorated over the years, and I think that this all played a factor, or whatever the case may be. You know, Dolph deciding not to sign and giving his reasons for not wanting to sign the CMG. The story about it being about a girl or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I heard that also.
Yeah, that's absolutely not true. It was just a potential business deal gone bad, from what I understand.
Well, you have rap beefs where people do diss records against each other, but in this case, it escalated into actual violence. Dolph got shot up in LA at one point, and then he was in a bulletproof car. They got shot up, down south at a later point. So there was just a lot of chaos that was happening during that time. From your point of view, like, you don't know Gotti, but you're friends with Jook, and you also know Dolph. What did you think about these things escalating in Memphis and all over the South?
Well, actually, when you sit back and you analyze everything, and just giving my honest opinion on it, and I mean, numerous of other people have said what I'm about to say. I don't think you can go find one song where you hear Yo Gotti dissing Dolph. It was more so Dolph every other song he dropped, he was mentioning Gotti and Jook, and sometimes his family. And so I think they kind of lit the fire to it, escalated it, or whatever the case may be. I do know of a situation, not the name drop, but we got a very well-known, respected NBA player from our city that wanted to see the beef end. He reached out to a well-respected club promoter in Memphis, Tennessee, and asked him to reach out to both parties and try to dead the beef. Well, he reached out to Gotti, and Gotti was all for it. He was open to having a conversation with Dolph, possibly meeting up to put an end to it. When this particular club promoter reached out to Dolph, Dolph said, "Fuck no," hung up the phone in his face and blocked him. He didn't want no parts of squashing it, and I'm just being honest about the situation. So, I say that to say that all of this could have been avoided if egos wasn't in the way.
What you think about that? Paula, come on the show, man. On your outlaws input. All right. Yeah, man. I think this is gonna cover for Yo Gotti. But, he's the fall guy still,
Yeah.
But he beat the case. The reason why he beat the case is because he wasn't nowhere near the shit,
Right.
His brother died as a result of the whole thing. So it is unfortunate. Like he said, it was ego still, when you really look at it.
Exactly. No, it is what it is, man. These guys are puppets in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
The fall guy.
Fall guy's funny.
Yeah, but it's true though.
No, well, you have to look at it like this.
Somebody has to take the heat. Somebody has to take the heat, man.
Young Dolph gets killed. Yo Gotti's brother get killed. That's how they're looking at it. Case closed.
What more evidence do you need?
Yeah. What more can I say? You know what I'm saying? What more can I say?
Back to the first topic, eh?
But I like this reaction by Al Prophet, so I'm gonna play a little bit of it before we get up out of here. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Fair use, people. Fair use.
And got the scoop. He dropped the cash. I'm sure they had that. Set up. And V. Cognizant of the fame and attention he's getting from being associated with Young Dolph's homicide, and is trying to parlay it into something. But actually, his interview is pretty interesting. It's going to be not so much a reaction, but a breakdown. Interesting to hear a guy fresh out of beating first-degree murder. So, of course, rap music and trying to get into that industry is like the last hope in the worst neighborhoods, because the dope game is definitely not over with. It's more dope than ever, but like turning something to nothing. That's why people like that crack era, where you could at least had a dream of you're going to turn an 8-ball into $1 million. But anyone that I know now that makes any money in that world, or the people I know that made a bunch of money in the reefers, like they already had money or networks, or just knew how to operate. Like they wasn't going from nothing to something. The rap is the last thing. And Hernandez, Govan, and his brother have been in the game to the extent where they had Moneybag Yo. Hernandez, Govan, and Van's brother owned a used car lot. They had Moneybag Yo come up there, rap for him, and the brother turned it down. So they were salty dog about missing out on Moneybag Yo, not in a bad way, but just, they had a chance and they made a bad call. So Hernandez was always trying to meet people, and he met Straight Drop. And Big Jook was trying to AR, get new artists for Yo Gotti. You never know who the next big thing is going to be. I remember seeing Glorilla, Let's Go, when it had 256 views on my boy Dirty Glove Bastard's Instagram page. He was the first to post it. And I called him up and said, oh, this is going to be popular. She's going to be popular. And then, of course, so they're always looking for new talent. Straight Drop had the backstory. He went to prison for shooting up the bowling alley. And one night, Big Jook was over at Hernandez Govan's trap house. He said he bought the house when he got out of prison. Govan has been to prison multiple times in Orange Mound, the neighborhood he grew up in. I think he bought his grandmother's old house. He may not have lived there. That's just where he went to serve people like Cornelius pills and the reefers. And one night, Big Jook was over to talk to Govan, or Hernandez Govan, about the music. Just, okay, y'all messing with Straight Drop. Here's what you need to do to get him hot enough for me to bring it to Gotti to sign him. Hernandez, well-spoken, smart-sounding guy, like he knows some stuff. I personally think it's definitely, like, I go with the jury verdicts. Like, what he said sounded pretty plausible, that Juk was over there. He knows Juk from from growing up, but also they would shoot dice together. So they would be in environments, gambling or money passing around. Juk would probably talk, say shit, and so the Cornelius came over, and Hernandez claims, now this is new because Hernandez didn't testify in the trial. He says Cornelius came over, saw to get some pills, saw Big Juk inside, and took Hernandez out on a porch and said, yo, they're not going to do nothing about Dolph trying to murk Gotti. Now, in public, we don't have any incidents we know of Dolph trying to murk Gotti, but dude, I mean, to me, listen, I've said this in every video, there's 3 documented attempts on Dolph's life by CMG employees prior to the 4th successful one. CMG was going after Dolph. There's no way it was just over some music stuff. Dolph had to be doing stuff at Gotti. Maybe it just didn't come out for whatever reason. Somebody told me Yo Gotti got shot in LA by Dolph's people. Is that true? I can't verify it. The person I know who told me that would be in a position to know, and I don't know him to be a liar. I believe it. Remember, they shot Dolph in broad daylight on Hollywood Boulevard. Like, that was not just a rap beef. Dolph had to be doing something to those people, I would imagine. But anyway, so Cornelius Smith takes Hernandez Govan out on a porch, asks him, say, they not going to do nothing. So Juk is over there, Cornelius, and we know from Cornelius's testimony about how he killed Dolph for very little money. Like, he was promised some money. He got a couple $100. He got $40. He got a loose cigarette. Murder to him was like nothing. Cornelius Smith had to have killed people before for money, right? So if you know that, you know Juk over there, like, oh, that's somebody I can get a bounty from. Now, Juk did get introduced to Straight Drop, who Cornelius Smith testified against, and is doing all that time, is doing life and 50 years for being the other shooter. If Hernandez Govan was to ever be truly implicated in a conspiracy, it would have to come from Straight Drop. He did introduce Straight Drop to Juk. Straight Drop was the one calling Juk after the hit. Hernandez Govan also said something interesting, that a well-known basketball player has to be a Zebo. What is his damn name? The guy that has Moneybag Yo signed to him. Zebo, the basketball player. He's from Memphis. He tried to call it. He says Moneybag Yo signed to him, and they're in a joint venture with Yo Gotti. He wanted to broker up a truce. Gotti was with it. Dolph was not. I mean, if people were trying to kill Dolph, I can see why not. Hernandez was definitely trying to paint a fuller picture of, but he wasn't. It didn't seem like he had an agenda. He was just telling the information. He claims he's never met Yo Gotti. So if we ever come out and see photos with him and Yo Gotti from the past, then we'll know something funny's going on. But what Hernandez Govan said sounded all believable. Doesn't make it true, but it sounded believable. He just got a trap house over there. He's trying to work his rapper Straight Drop. Cornelius Smith was a drug addict killer, comes by, inserts himself in the mix with Juk. Now, if Straight Drop was Hernandez Govan and his brother's artist, or Hernandez Govan's artist, and then Jook worked to deal with Straight Drop to do the hit or do hits on PRE and Dolph. Hard to believe Hernandez Govan wouldn't have known about it. But again, not on the Cornelius Smith side, it would be through Straight Drop. But Straight Drop hasn't said a drop of words yet. So now that Hernandez has been put on trial and found not guilty for that charge, is double jeopardy. Straight Drop, he can't get charged. Even if Straight Drop were to come out and say, yeah, he set it all up, he can't get charged for that murder again. Now, what he could get charged with is a conspiracy RICO, and that would just be a predicate act, and it would carry life. Straight, the only way anyone else is getting in trouble is Straight Drop. And at this point, he's been locked up 5 years. People either tell in the beginning or not. At this point, he's comfortable. He's probably staying high in there. They probably keeping him with some H. There's commissary full, probably fucking a guard. But he's straight. By the time he would even think twice about wanting to tell, so much time will have passed, it'll be too late. So, hey, they killed JFK in public and got away with it. There was clearly some type of other conspiracy behind it. But yeah, Hernandez Govan's interview with Vlad is pretty good. Go check him out. Interesting insight into some other elements of the story. Like I said, I heard Dolph had Gotti shot in LA before. Is that true? I don't know, but sounds believable. And the person who told me, I don't think would be lying. And the way he described it, he's not guilty. But just to be honest, Straight Drop was his artist. He was trying to get signed. If Jook had Straight Drop do something, how did Hernandez Govan not know about it? But again, it's weird to me that Hernandez was talking about he wants to get a cut after the fact. But anyways, the trial was the trial. That's my reaction to Hernandez Govan and Vlad TV. Al Prophet America Dope.
Sometimes things can get a little tricky out here on these YouTube streets. Yeah. Like, for instance, the Young Dolph trial. A lot of people were outspoken, a lot of podcasters, a lot of us had different things to say. And to keep it real with y'all, it's only our opinion. A lot of times, a lot of this stuff that's coming out is only our opinion of what they're putting out in the public. Some people may not go for that because we all just seen Hernandez Govan, the alleged mastermind in the killing of Young Dolph. He just beat all charges. And boy, when I say he's coming at podcasters, he's coming at bloggers, he don't care who you are. He want to settle the score once and for all. Some may get caught up in the clutches of a killer or an informant. Let's talk about it.
This is Harlem legend, no cat, no trap, no trap. Oh, this is Harlem legend, no cat, no trap, no trap. Hey, this is Harlem legend, no cat. Harlem legend TV, we the realest on the screen. Breaking down the culture, keeping everything clean.
Well, that's about it. That case is going to be settled. Even if Yo Gotti has something to do with it, it don't really matter at this point. And it is what it is. Well, Hernandez Govan is He's a lucky guy. I don't know how he beat that. The M. But then it's that dude's word against his, I guess. Let me just check this. Break it down.
We, the jury, find the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 2 of the indictment. Ma'am, Ms. Johnson, is this your verdict? Is this your verdict? Yes. Is this your verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict? Yes, Your Honor. Is this your verdict? Yes. Is this your verdict?
Yes.
So if you're trying to figure out how this happened, let me give you the recap on how this 3-day trial played out. Context, if you need it, this is Adolph Thornton Jr., aka Young Dolph, and on November 17, 2021, while at a cookie shop, ambushed by 2 men, which led to his death. So after his death, police learned that his record label, named PRE, had a bit of a rivalry with another record label in the city called CMG, which is headed by Yo Gotti.
Did the CMG ever at any point want Mr. Thorne, if professional knowledge of Young Dolph, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Did they ever want Young Dolph to sign their label?
Yes, ma'am.
Would that be the beginning of their issue?
Could have been.
Okay. Did Mr. Thorne or Young Dolph ever sign their label?
No, ma'am.
The backstory is that CMG wanted Dolph signed to their label, but because Dolph refused and instead created his own label, some of the people at CMG, and in particular Yo Gotti's brother named Big Jook, allegedly put a hit out on Dolph and all of his PRE artists.
There was a bounty on Adolph Thornton's life. In fact, there were multiple bounties on PRE artists.
And so law enforcement does their investigation and ultimately charge 4 people for Dolph's death. But the first 3 people are the main ones we need to talk about: Cornelia Smith, Justin Johnson, and Hernandez Govan. All 3 of them were charged with first-degree Big M, as well as conspiracy to commit first-degree Big M. And just so we're clear, conspiracy to commit just means that these 3 people had an agreement with each other to take Dolph's life. So even if Dolph would have miraculously lived after the incident, the 3 of them could still be charged with conspiracy, because that charge just means that there's an agreement amongst these people and that there were steps towards actually completing the task.
For you to find the defendant guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, the state must have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant entered into an agreement with one or more people to commit the offense of first-degree murder. It is not necessary that the object of the agreement be attained, and that each of the parties to the conspiracy had the intent to commit the offense of first-degree murder.
And so in this instance, the prosecutors alleged that Justin Johnson and Cornelia Smith were the actual triggermen, but their agreement also involved Hernandez Govan. Prosecutors said that he was the one who actually paired Justin Johnson and Cornelia Smith together to carry this task out.
Govan told Smith that there was a $100,000 bounty on Adolph Thornton's life, and that the money was good. The money was guaranteed if Smith and Johnson completed this job. So what did they do? What did the 2 desperate people do? They agreed. And Govan asked for a $10,000 cut from each of them. And one thing that is important to note is that Smith and Johnson didn't even really know each other. Govan was the link between them.
So that was the prosecution's claim. Now here's where things start to get tricky. Cornelia Smith who again was a trigger man, flipped and became a state's witness, meaning he agreed to testify against Justin Johnson and Hernandez Govan in hopes that he would get a lighter sentence. So when Justin Johnson had his trial last year, Cornelius Smith was the star witness, and he took the stand and told the jurors exactly how this all went down. And Justin Johnson was ultimately found guilty and sentenced to life in prison plus 35 years. And so fast forward to this week, it was now time for Hernandez Govan's trial. And in case you're wondering, Hernandez Govan's defense to all of this was, number one, he says the entire case against him was built on the word of Cornelius Smith, who was really just out here trying to help himself.
This entire case is going to come down to the guy with the machine gun that shot off Adolph Thornton. The whole case is going to come down to him and then possibly his girlfriend backing up his story. Remember, Cornelius Smith has made at least 5 different statements to law enforcement over the course of a year where everything changes. So you should ask yourself the question when the judge instructed you, does somebody have a reason to lie? Do they have an interest in the outcome? You are caught red-handed on video, and you're about to see it in a second, taking an AK-47 or lighting it up at a cookie store in broad daylight. He's facing a mandatory life sentence. That's the only question I'm about. And I ask each and every one of you, what would you do if you were facing a mandatory life sentence to get out of it?
Number two, his attorney argued that phone records show neither Justin Johnson nor Cornelius Smith were in contact with Govan for weeks leading up to this incident. And so if there was this big master plan, how come they weren't even in communication with each other leading up to it?
And the interesting thing is, even though nobody communicated with Govan for weeks prior to this, they didn't talk to him that morning. He didn't help him get the car. He didn't help him escape. He didn't tell him what to do. He didn't tell him where to go. He didn't do anything. It was a spontaneous issue between 2 young men that morning. They left the car and crossed the street from Govan's house on the middle of the street, in front of the street. So if there's some master plan, that may be one of the dumbest plans you could possibly have if you're going to kill the most important person, the most famous person in Memphis. Again, there were no phone contacts for weeks prior to the shooting, especially in the morning. Govan wouldn't know.
And then the final point the attorney raises is that even though prosecutors themselves say that this hit ultimately came from Anthony Big Juk Mims, they never charged him. And even though he is now deceased, the attorney says when he was alive, prosecutors didn't even question him.
And just because he's a nobody and doesn't have money like Dottie or Juk, his brother, who was never even questioned or charged, he's the fall guy in all this stuff. He needs to be fought for. He is your peer. We need to do this, right? Mr. Govan, stand up. Hold your head up high. Mr. Govan matters. You can't do this to people just for political gain because you got to solve a crime because somebody famous died. It's just wrong. Nobody deserves to die. But you don't compound the problem by blaming innocent people for it. And even if you don't want to believe he's innocent, you want to believe Cornelius, they sure as heck didn't prove the case without reasonable doubt.
All right, so now let's get into the testimony. So the first witness of the trial was Dolph's sister, and she basically just identified the person in this picture as her brother. The second witness was Dolph's bodyguard, and he talked about the history between PRE and CMG. And then the third witness was Cornelius Smith. Smith started off by explaining that he first met Hernandez Govan through a friend of his named Bobby. At the time, Bobby was buying pills from Hernandez Govan and then selling them to Cornelius, but eventually Bobby introduced Cornelius to Govan so Govan could buy the pills himself.
I met him through an individual named Bobby, buy pills at the time. Like, I guess after a couple runs of going to buy pills on my own from him, you know, he started asking me, I want to make some money. Yeah, because sometimes I go to him and ask, can I get a couple pills on credit? So, you know, that was when you want to make some money? Like, yeah. One night leaving getting some pills. He mentioned the prices on, you know, who had 50 on his head. Young Dolph had 100 on his head. Somebody had 5 on their head, 10 on their head. He mentioned the prices too.
So it was almost like a catalog. This person costs this much. This person
telling
costs
us
this much.
who had the money on their head, who had the most money on their head,
And who had
Young Dolph had the most money on his head.
And he had 100,000.
100,000.
And when you say his head,
I mean, if you kill Young Dolph, you get 100,000.
So one day after Govan had already told Cornelius about the hits, Govan allegedly called Cornelius and said that one of Dolph's artists was at home and now could be a good time for him to try and carry out the hit. At the time, Govan had also called Bobby, Justin Johnson, and a fourth man and told them all the same thing.
When they found out that we was at the house or whatever, me and Bobby would call, and he called Justin too. quick with all of them.
Hey, you didn't know Justin before this day?
No, ma'am.
Never seen him?
Never seen them. Never met them. Don't know nothing about it. We all met up at Quick House. Me and Bobby jumped in one vehicle, and Justin and another guy jumped in another vehicle. So as we approach the house, me, Bobby, Justin, and another guy, I don't know the other guy's name. Bobby dropped me off. I get out walking on foot. Coming out the house, and he had his gun in his hand at the time. And I was walking up the street, and me and him had a shootout or whatever. And the gun he provided me had jammed up. So, I had to duck and buy him weed and got in the car and went back to his house. And Bobby was like, he wasn't messing with this stuff because we messed it up or whatever. And we didn't have our masks on and all this. So since Bobby acting like he told me to get with Justin and them, since Bobby had pulled out of it.
Oh, GOVAN told you to get with Justin?
Yeah, Quick told me to get with Justin.
Okay.
So Bobby ends up pulling out because he realized they were dumb, because why would you go without a mask on? And GOVAN allegedly tells Cornelius that he should just team up with Justin to try and get some of the other artists. Are you following? So this is all a part of the conspiracy or the agreement that the prosecutors are alleging. So fast forward to November. Young Dolph and his artists are in town doing a turkey drive, and Cornelius says that GOVAN calls him again to say now could be a good time to do these hits.
GOVAN quit. I mean, he was telling us that, they had turkey drive. Each artist had a different day. They were doing a turkey drive or whatever, and that's our opportunity. We can make some shaking. We had went because they had a turkey drive in South Memphis, and me and him was out. We was riding, trying to get one of the artists that day that was doing the drive down there. And as we was out there, I got out on foot. There was a lot of folks out there standing with guns. Justin was in the car. And he called me and told me that he had got a call to Young Dolph at a gas station up the street from where we was at. So I ran back to the truck, and I jumped back in the truck. When we got to the gas station, Dolph was gone. So we rolled around for a minute, then he dropped me back off at the house. And I laid down that night. We're going to get somebody. We're gonna strike. Tomorrow is our day. We're going to strike somebody. We're going to get lucky tomorrow.
At any point did you all have this conversation with Mr. GOVAN?
Yeah, we were telling him, we really getting close. We getting fed up playing. We finna get somebody, basically. And he was like, y'all do y'all thing. I don't get beat.
The next day was November 17th, 2021. It was Cornelius Smith's daughter's birthday, and also the day that he and Justin Johnson took the life of Young Dolph.
It was actually my daughter's birthday. I woke up. I had a missed call from Justin Johnson. So I don't know if I called him back or he called me back, but somehow he got on the phone. We was on the phone, and he was telling me that he was finna pull up on me. I ain't asked no questions. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't asked no questions. I just jumped on in there because I knew we was on a mission. Once he picked me up, we went back to right in front of GOVAN, and then the GOVAN house. Once Justin grabbed something out of the white SUV, we proceeded on heading towards Westwood area. And as we got to Lamar Airways at the light, Young Dolph come driving by. They come driving across the light. And we spotted the car. We were like, there they go. We proceeded to trail them. We followed them. They pulled inside the cookie store. We made the block. And when we made the loop, I jumped out. I spotted Dolph inside the store at first. I jumped out. Just proceeded to shoot inside there. Once we left the cookie shop, I was telling Justin I was hit. He like, I'm hit too. He was driving. Justin was driving at the time, so I was asking him, is he okay? So we won't crash or anything, run into nothing. We went back to the house in front of Mr. Hernandez GOVAN house, and I jumped out the Mercedes Benz and jumped into a Suburban truck and moved on out the way.
I want to quickly interject here to make sure you're following. So according to Cornelius Smith, right after the incident, and actually even right before the incident, him and Justin Johnson stopped by the house across the street from Hernandez GOVAN. And even though the house is across the street from Hernandez GOVAN, prosecutors made a lot of efforts throughout the trial to try and tie it to Hernandez GOVAN. They pointed out that GOVAN was a part of the music industry, and that house was used in a music video that he was a part of.
There's the video shoot of us at the house across the street from Quick House, across the street from Hernandez GOVAN house.
Who is this individual?
I don't know him.
Who is this?
That's Justin Johnson.
Who is this individual?
I don't know who that is.
Who is this?
That's Hernandez GOVAN.
And who is this individual?
That's me right there.
Okay, so after dropping the car off at that house, Cornelius says that Justin Johnson FaceTimed Big Jook to let him know that they were the ones who did the hit and they were the ones who should get paid.
And in the meantime, he had FaceTime Big Jook to let him know that, that was like our work. and then trying to find somewhere for us to go so we could clean up or whatever because I was bleeding extremely bad. Like he had found somewhere for us to go, and that was in the 2-lane apartment. We went there to clean up or whatnot.
Is this where you all went to?
Yes, ma'am. It was me and Justin getting out the truck. It was me on the driver's side, my shirt up because I've been shot. Trying to hold it. My girl kind of picked me up.
And your girl? Does the girl have a name?
Miss Angela kind of picked me up. Other than me and Justin walking out, he getting in the white SUV, and I'm walking to Miss Angela's truck. Getting.
You call your girl Miss
Nah.
Angela? What did you call her?
Oh, baby.
Okay. Got in your baby truck. Is that
Justin walking up to the truck with me and Angela was in. I was waiting on him. I told her not to pull off until he pulled off.
why didn't you want to pull off before you pulled?
Because I know we just did a hit, so it was really like, looking after him at the time. And then we both were shot. Well, he was straight, but I was shot. So I just really made sure he pulled that out. Yes, ma'am.
So we see the vehicle Justin bleeding, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. That white vehicle, and this is the man Angela leaving right here.
And it's Angela driving?
Yes, ma'am.
After leaving those apartments, Cornelius says that he connected with GOVAN a few times throughout that day.
We had went through, we had called Mr. Hernandez GOVAN because I had left my phone in the car too. So I was like, man, get my phone out the car. I like, get my phone, I left my phone in the car too, get my phone out the car. He like, all right, meet me where I get my car wash it. So I stopped, got me a cigarette. Then I had headed to Pressure to meet Mr. GOVAN. And me and him was having a one-on-one discussion. He was saying that he had heard that Dolph had shot one of us because I told him I was shot. He like, I heard Dolph shot one of y'all, and y'all blood on the scene. He like, did y'all have y'all face masks on? Like, yeah, we had our face masks on, stuff like that. And I got my phone from me and Angela had screwed up after that. And called me back again, telling me to slow up before I leave from my dad's house, because he wanted to meet me over there or whatever. He was finna pull back up and ask me a question. When he pulled up, he jumped out. Now the conversation, I really forgot what we were talking about right then, but it was concerning what just happened or whatever. He gave me about $30, $40, then he left. Later on that night, I pulled back up at his house. He gave me some money to buy a car cover as well. The cover that car that was sitting across the street. He like, first he kept saying we gotta bring the cover. But he said, gave me the money, go get the car cover. The same night, the same morning, the car got to school. The night before that, he gave me the money because I went to AutoZone that morning, got the car cover. The night before the car was to school,
yes.
I had went and wiped it down or whatever. I went and wiped it down. I had called him and told him that I was going in the backyard to wipe the car down. So he wanted, shoot at me or nothing like that. You know who it is in the backyard.
Even though he lived across the
street.
street.
Yeah, even though you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm saying like this, in the streets, you watch your surroundings basically. So, you see some funny stuff, you get, kind of street like we live. You'll get kind of scary and you get to shoot things somebody after you. Then what it just happened, you're on doubt, you got killed. So, you have to be aware of everything.
What's the AutoZone? Yeah, what color car cover was it?
Now that part I can't tell you because it never made it out the box.
It never made it out the box. Why didn't it make it out the box?
Because they had discovered the car, and I was like, since they discovered the car, take this junk bag, get the money back, and buy me some more pills.
Going to get a refund for the car cover is wild. A few weeks after the incident, Cornelius randomly saw GOVAN while driving, and he says that the two of them stopped to talk. And that was the last time he interacted with GOVAN because he was arrested the next day.
December the 8th, 2021, I was going to give me some pills, going one way, and he was coming up another way. And he looked through the window mirror, his windshield, and through the horn. And I pulled over, he pulled over, and he got out the car. He was like, thank God. He was telling me that he been getting shot at and stuff. And he asked me, have I spoke to Mr. Justin Johnson? Because they had ran in Justin Johnson's house the night before, whatever. He showed me some things on his phone. And he was asking me, did I have a number he get in touch with me on? He told me I need to get rid of my phone. I need to get rid of their phone, is all he was saying. And he was like, he was gonna go to Private that night and get my money. And he was gonna call me. He asked me for a number.
Did he ever call?
Now the U.S. Marshal was on me the next day. I was in jail.
All right, now on to Cross. Govan's defense attorney first tries to highlight the lack of physical evidence to support the things that Cornelius claimed. As an example, he points out that if Cornelius really went to AutoZone to buy a car cover, there should be video surveillance or at least a receipt to support this.
So if I was to call AutoZone to get surveillance, I could easily see the car coming and going.
Yes, sir.
All right, and if I went inside, I could easily be seen on the surveillance cameras because they have it for shoplifting and all that. Angela would be front and center, right?
I ain't gonna say front and center, but I told her to go get the car cover.
All right. And
Go
so,
get a car cover, universal car cover.
all right, and so if it's around 7 in the morning, she used cash to buy it. You get a receipt even if you use cash, right?
Right.
Okay. So if I wanted to double check, say I'm a really good detective and I want to figure out what's happened, I could easily go to AutoZone, pull the footage, ask them for just their receipts from between 7 and 8 that morning, who bought a car cover. I could very easily validate what you're saying, right? Okay.
Next, he questions how weird it is for Govan to tell Cornelius about these hits, even though they didn't know each other for very long.
And you just know Mr. Govan for a very short period of time prior to this meeting, right?
Right.
Okay, but Govan, even though you don't even know him, approached you and said you want to kill some people.
No, he said, paperwork got hits on the head. Not you want to kill some. Paperwork got hits on the head. Boundaries on.
Right, so
this our turn.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The street. This our turn. I always see.
So is he doing a public service announcement saying, hey, there's a bounty on these people, or is he telling you?
You don't do shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure a person out. So that's basically what he was doing, figuring me out. He saw buying pills from him. So I probably need a little money because I get pills on credit, whatever from him. You know what I'm saying? And he saw me and Bobby tight, so he figured me out and was like, you want to make some money.
Okay.
And then the attorney begins to poke holes in Smith's credibility. And because of some previous statements, the attorney is able to bring up Smith's criminal history.
I'm just asking, how many people have you shot that you can't remember going to clean the car with bleach and peroxide?
I told you, sir, I ain't shooting nobody but a guy in 2011. I shot Ed Wu and Young Dog. I don't shoot people like that. I'm not that kind of guy. How many people have you shot, guy?
You remember pulling a gun on your child's mother when she had to get a restraining order against you?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, you didn't shoot at her, but you just pulled a gun on her, right?
Yeah, that was it.
That was it?
Okay, with regards to Angela, you had domestic violence calls as well, as just a few months before all this happened. She called the police on
Am I on trial, sir?
Well, you should be, but you're not right now. So I'm asking you.
Well, why you bring up my criminal history? Answer the question. Yeah.
All right, and then did you also steal TVs and other things? To
Yes,
go
sir,
buy
I did.
drugs
Yes,
after
sir.
you stole Angela's property?
Yes, sir, I did.
And you've had domestic violence with her as well?
Yes, sir, I did.
But she's still dating you as of today after 4 years of being in
Yes,
prison?
sir. People go through their ups and downs. Every relationship do.
Okay.
All right, so that's what happened on day one. Come back so I can tell you about the testimony of Cornelius's girlfriend and how an AutoZone receipt magically appeared on day two. I'm not a lawyer, but there was a trial that was happening while the Diddy trial was going on that you have to hear about. It was a circumstantial case out of Milwaukee where prosecutors say that this 33-year-old man named Maxwell Anderson took the life of this 19-year-old woman named Sade Robinson. And although there's no confirmed weapon, no eyewitnesses, and only parts of her body found, video surveillance, Life 360, and Maxwell's own movements made for a really strong circumstantial case. This is a journey, so let me give you the recap. To start off, here is a clip from the prosecutor's opening statements, kind of setting up the case.
Sade Robinson was a 19-year-old young woman. She had an apartment on the Lower East Side, 1858 North Commerce. She was in school. She worked a job. She worked at Pizza Shuttle on the Lower East Side. That day, April 1st, 2024, Sade Robinson went to work at Pizza Shuttle. And she made the plans to meet up with the defendant, Maxwell Anderson, that evening after work. And she wouldn't know it at the time that she left her apartment that morning, but she would never return.
So even though Sade was last seen on April 1st, 2024, the case really kicked off about 24 hours later on April 2nd, 2024, when this man was walking along the shores of Lake Michigan and saw something that made him call the police.
So what happened at the beach that made you remember this day?
We were walking down there and there was a severed leg.
What drew your attention to the leg?
It was a pretty narrow path, so it's kind of hard to miss. At first, we thought it was like a mannequin leg, but then we got a closer look and realized what it really was.
What did you do?
We went up pretty much immediately, called the cops, and that's all I really remember from that time.
Footage from the body-worn camera of one of the officers who came to the scene was played for the jurors. And just to be clear, you won't be seeing anything gruesome at all during this video.
Where are we? So we're at the bottom of the hill. Right now I'm facing north, looking down towards the beach.
What's up, man? So this is Evan Millies. We've dealt with him before. Some guy, mostly a good guy. He's gotten into trouble a couple times, but good dude. Okay. So they walked down the S curve from Sheridan, started walking south just for fun, rough day on the beach. As they were walking, see that leg right there? Yeah. Said that it was up about approximately where the end of that stick, branches. By the bushes, right there. Yeah, bushes. Said that they saw it up. So it was like up on the hill, kind of. Yeah. Okay. Said that him and his buddy who's in my squad right now walked out, called us, and then when we came back, there was about maybe 7 feet east by the rock. I moved it just for evidence purposes. Okay. So they just swept away. Yeah. Okay. And I documented it well on body cam, like different angles of where it was. Okay, cool. All right, we gotta. You want to tell me where it is? What's your name again, bud? Evan. Evan? Okay, Evan. How long were you out here? About probably an hour. An hour? Yeah. Okay. You usually come this way? Yeah. Yeah? It's the first time you seen anything here? Yeah. Yeah? It's the first time you seen anything like this? Yeah. Yeah? Okay. All right, Evan. Hang tight. Don't go anywhere, okay? Yeah.
So while the leg was being discovered near the lake on the other side of town, Sade Robinson's friends, family, and coworkers were getting worried because she didn't go to work that day and no one heard from her.
Miss Young, were you familiar with somebody named Sade Robinson?
Yes.
Can you describe what your relationship was with her?
Friend and coworker.
Did you contact law enforcement on April 2nd, 2024?
I did.
Why?
Because I could not reach Sade and she had not shown up to work that morning, and that wasn't like her, and I was scared. Because it wasn't, if she was even going to be late, she would text me or call. And when I messaged her, I said, please just text me and let me know you're okay. Because she doesn't have to come to work. She doesn't have to answer her phone. But I just wanted her to let me know that she was okay. And I knew she would if she could. I texted her and I went by her apartment. I just pulled into the parking lot, looked for her car, didn't see it. Spun around, sat there for a minute, hoping that I'd see her. And when I didn't, I drove to the police station. I asked them if I could file a missing persons report. And they told me that first they would have to do a wellness check. And I said, okay. And I gave them her address and they said they would send somebody out and they would contact me and let me know what happened.
So you have the leg on the lake and then you have Sade missing. But what also happened on April 2nd was around 8 a.m. that morning, there were reports of a car being set on fire.
And when you arrived there, what did you observe?
A car burning behind the building located at 30th and Lisbon. I believe that the fire was in the passenger compartment where all the seats are located in the trunk area.
Was the Milwaukee Police Department also sent to the scene?
Yes, I requested them because the fire appeared to be suspicious. This address is a vacant building. It's no longer there. It's been demolished, and we had been using that building for training for a number of months prior to that. There's no reason for a car to be back there. Like, no one would park a vehicle back there normally. We've had instances in past where there are cars that were burned back there, and they were also, suspicious.
This is a body cam, right?
Yes, that would be my personal body camera. So I always double check and write down the VIN number of the vehicle and the license plate as well, just to make sure that they match if I run the license plate or if I run the VIN. And when I ran the license plate and the VIN of this motor vehicle, it listed to Sade Robinson.
So at first, it wasn't clear that any of these incidents were connected. But once police reached out to Sade's family, they learned that she had the Life 360 app, and it starts to connect some dots for them.
Did you share your location with Sade?
Yes.
Did Sade share her location over Life 360 with you?
Yes.
When you found out that Sade was missing, did you ever check Life 360?
Yes. That she was at South 40th Street at 12:48 a.m. to 3335 North Gordon Place at 1:38 a.m. Yes. 201 to 253. That she was at that location from that time. 3:24 a.m. to 4:35 a.m.
In addition to being able to track Sade's movements from the Life 360 app, police also get access to Sade's phone records and learn that she made plans to meet up with someone after work on April 1st.
So that would mean this message was sent at what time?
It would be at 4:15. States, where are we meeting? So after the first text message, where are we meeting? The reply stating, I can do 5.
So that those two both came from Sade's phone.
Correct.
Okay. The response from the 262 number is what?
Response is downtown somewhere, question mark.
Okay. How does Sade respond?
Okay.
The 262 number sends 2 consecutive messages to Sade reading what?
Okay, I'm going to shower quick. I'll probably get there more around 5:15. And then, are you hungry? Question mark. I need to stop at Twisted Fisherman to pick up my W-2 from last year, and we could eat there first.
How does Sade respond to those 2 texts?
Okay, and yes. Let's eat at Twisted. I'm feeling seafood.
How does Sade respond to that?
Yes, I love seafood.
What does the 262 number say next?
Sounds good. I'm about to leave. I'll be there soon.
So police start following the route from Sade's Life 360 app to go around and collect surveillance video, and it paints a really interesting picture. Starting with April 1st around 9 a.m., Sade is seen leaving her apartment to go to work.
This is April 1st, 2025, and roughly 9 o'clock in the morning.
And that's Sade leaving?
That is.
She's got a black coat on, white top, looks like ripped jeans and white shoes.
That's correct.
She carrying anything in her hands?
It's like her cell phone and keys in her left hand.
How about her right?
Her right, it looks like it's got a, she's got a shoulder bag, looks to be darker color.
It's 11 seconds long.
She is currently walking north to her vehicle through the